Have you ever opened your pay slip, looked at the tax deducted, and just have that gut feeling that, wait a minute, that can't be right? That the numbers just don't add up and you're paying way more than you should be?
If that sounds familiar, you are absolutely not alone. It's a super common feeling. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the most confusing things on your payslip, your tax code. We're going to get right into why your code might be lower than you think it should be, and most importantly, what you can actually do about it.
All right, let's get into it. Now, to make sure we're giving you the absolute best information, this whole guide was developed by the chartered tax experts over at Pro Tax Accountant. These guys are pros, a top UK accounting firm, and they've helped put all of this together. So yeah, you can bet we're in very, very good hands.
So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll start with the basics. What's a normal tax code look like? Then we'll dig into the big reasons why yours might be lower. And that includes a tricky trap for high earners and the dreaded K code. Then we'll wrap it all up with some really clear steps you can take to check your code and figure out when it's time to call in some help.
Okay, first things first. Before we can figure out if your tax code is wrong, we've got to know what a right one even looks like. So let's set that baseline.
All right, let's talk numbers. The big one you need to know for the 2025 to 2026 tax year is this: £12,570. That's the standard personal allowance. Seriously, burn that number into your brain, because everything else we're about to talk about really hinges on it.
But what does that actually mean for your bank account? Well, it's pretty simple, really. It's the amount of money you can earn every single year without paying a single penny of income tax on it. It's kind of like the government saying, all right, this first chunk, that's all yours.
And this is where your tax code comes from. HMRC takes that 12,570, lops off the last number, and sticks an L on the end, and boom, you've got 1257L. That's the most common tax code in the whole country. So if you've got a straightforward situation, one job, no other weird financial stuff going on, this is the code you should expect to see.
Right, so if 1257L is the standard, why on earth is yours different? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? This is really the heart of the matter, so let's jump right into the top reasons why this happens.
Okay, there are a handful of usual suspects here. The big ones are usually benefits you get from work, things like a company car or private medical cover. Another one is HMRC trying to collect tax you underpaid last year. Or maybe you're juggling a couple of jobs or pensions, or getting certain state benefits. You know what? Let's make this real. An example will make this so much clearer.
Let's talk about Sarah. She's a marketing manager in London. She starts off with that standard £12,570 tax-free allowance, just like everyone else. But her job gives her a company car, which has a taxable value of $6,000. And on top of that, she gets private medical insurance worth about £380. So what HMRC does is they just subtract those benefits right from her allowance. Suddenly, her tax-free amount plummets to just £6,190. Then they do their thing, drop the last digit, add the L, and her new tax code is 619L. Just like that, a huge chunk of her salary is now being taxed.
And here is a fantastic pro tip directly from the experts at Pro Tax Accountant. They say that anytime your benefits change, maybe you get a new company car or stop getting one, you need to check your tax code notice the moment it arrives. Seriously, this is one of the biggest sources of error, and catching it early will save you a world of pain and probably a decent amount of cash too. Okay, let's switch gears a bit. There's a really specific situation I want to talk about now, and this one is for the high earners. And hey, even if that's not you, stay with me on this, because this little trap catches thousands of people out every single year. And trust me, it can be a costly mistake.
Here's the deal. The second your income tips over £100,000, that lovely £12,570 tax-free allowance, it starts to shrink. For every £2 you earn over that 100K mark, you lose £1 of your allowance. It's a thing called tapering, and it's basically designed to phase out that tax-free perk for the highest earners in the country.
And you can see just how drastic this is. At 100K, you get the full allowance, no problem. But earn 110K and poof, $5,000 of your allowance is gone, leaving you with just £7,570. And check this out. Once your income hits £125,040, your personal allowance is completely wiped out, gone. It drops to zero. That means you're paying tax on every single pound you earn. Ouch.
All right, now it's time to talk about the one nobody wants to see. The infamous K code. If you ever see a K at the front of your tax code, that's your cue to stop what you're doing and pay very close attention. It can be a bit scary, I'm not going to lie, so it really deserves its own explanation.
So what the heck is a K code? Think of it like a negative tax code.
It happens when all your deductions, maybe from really valuable company benefits or a big chunk of unpaid tax from a past year, add up to more than your entire personal allowance.
Let me put it this way to make it super clear. A normal L code, that's your friend. It gives you a tax-free buffer and lowers your tax bill. A K code does the exact opposite. It tells your boss, hey, you actually need to add more money to this person's taxable income because we need to collect extra tax. So yeah, it literally makes your tax bill bigger.
But, and this is really important, there is a safety net. It's built right into HMRC's rules. Even with a K code, your employer is not allowed to take more than half of your pre-tax pay in any single paycheck. It's a protection to stop you from ending up with almost nothing left to live on.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the problems, right? But knowledge is power. So let's shift from talking about what's wrong to what you can do about it. It's time to take back some control and figure out how to check this stuff for yourself.
Checking your code is actually pretty straightforward. There are 4 easy steps. 1, just look at your payslip. Your code is always printed right there. 2, dig out your PAYE coding notice. You might know it as a P2 form. HMRC sends this to you, and it shows you their math. 3, for the latest up-to-the-minute info, just log into your personal tax account online. And 4, and this is the big one, if something looks off, you have to be the one to act. You've got to contact HMRC and tell them to fix it.
Now, knowing all this is a fantastic first step. But let's be real, sometimes this stuff gets complicated, really complicated. So let's talk about when it might be time to stop DIYing it and actually call in the experts.
Look, the bottom line is this. Your tax code directly hits your wallet. It determines how much money you take home each month. And a mistake can be seriously costly. You could be overpaying tax for ages without realizing it, or worse, get slapped with a surprise bill for underpaying. For genuine peace of mind, sometimes the smartest move is to just talk to an expert.
A real expert can look at your code, they can deal with HMRC for you, which is a huge plus, and they can make absolutely sure you're paying exactly what you owe and not a penny more. If any of this has you worried, or you just have other tax questions, the team at ProTax Accountant are the people to call. You can get them on WhatsApp or by phone at 07985 689 912. Or just shoot them an email at info@protaxaccountant.co.uk.
Okay, and before we wrap up, a really quick but important disclaimer. Everything we've talked about today is for general information. It's here to help you get your head around the topic, but please don't use it as your only source for making big financial decisions. You really must speak to a qualified professional first, someone just like the experts at ProTax Accountant.
And hey, if you're the kind of person who wants to read up on all the nitty-gritty details, ProTax Accountant has a fantastic, really in-depth article on their blog. It covers everything we've touched on today, plus a whole lot more. The link is right there for you.
So, I'll leave you with one final question to think about. Is your tax code secretly siphoning money out of your paycheck every single month? If this discussion has been helpful, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. We've got a lot more clear, no-nonsense financial guidance coming your way.